make
I just realized that. That's a well-done Photoshop production staff.
And also, if that's 7 feet, you got to be, what, 4'9"?
Yeah, correct. If that were a real picture, they Photoshop me short.
Yeah.
They try to make me look bad. They do these things, but I don't mind.
You don't
Pretty
look
accurate.
bad. You don't look bad there.
What are they showing right
Here's
here?
what I did. This is as accurate as it comes. That is Winnie Jenna. I keep that on my desk,
That
Nick.
is
When you make me feel bad about myself, I go into my office.
Where did you get that?
And I just tap myself a little bit on the head. Yes, Jenna. Yes. Yes, Jenna. That was a good point, Jenna.
Does that say...
Don't listen to Nick. That was a good point.
Oh, those are the voices in your head.
No, I say them out loud. I actually do the voice.
That looks like a old Wii character.
It does.
Doesn't it? Like the Mii's on...
With the huge heads.
Yeah.
I mean, bobblehead.
Bobblehead, Greg. I was waiting for you to say bobblehead. Stories to start your morning, sponsored by Ram Trucks. We should get bobbleheads of all of us done. Sit on the set. Ram Trucks built to serve. Mike McCarthy was introduced as the 9th head coach of the Dallas Cowboys yesterday. A lot of cameras, a lot of smiles, a lot of fanfare. Jerry Jones called the hire fortuitous. Nick, what are realistic expectations for McCarthy in year 1?
Oh, while I don't think they will, the expectations within the organization should be you win the division, you get back to double-digit wins, and you compete for a bye in the NFC. Those, to me, that's a step above where they will be as far as competing for a bye, but they absolutely should be in contention with Philadelphia for the division. At the very least, get back to that level in year 1. I think those are fair and real expectations. Jerry's are probably a shade higher, which is what his expectations were for the Cowboys going into this year, which is make the NFC Championship game for the first time in over 25 years.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Jerry's expectations is going to be Super Bowl or nothing, and Mike McCarthy's expectations should be the same. However, he has a greater understanding of what it takes and what it looks like to get there in the process. So I think a realistic goal, win your division, because that is doable. You have the roster, you have the talent, you have now the coach, you have the culture that you have to shift a little bit, but it's doable. Win the division should be their expectation.
All right, moving on. McCarthy was asked in that press conference if Des Bryant's now infamous catch and on-catch should have counted in the 2014 Cowboys-Packers NFC divisional round game. So McCarthy gave the political answer, the correct political answer, saying it was a great catch, I can say now, but it wasn't then, technically. Nick, catch or no catch?
According to the way the rules used to be written, it's not a catch, but that's why the rules had to be changed. This is obviously a catch.
Yes.
At every level of football, this is a catch, and I will applaud the NFL, who has had some officiating controversies this year, some of those self-inflicted. They have removed this what the hell is a catch thing. They have made the rule to where now your gut reaction, is that a catch, yes or no, is almost always the way it is called. Because the fact that this was not a catch, and this is the best team, you could argue, the Cowboys have had since they won a Super Bowl. And the fact that they don't go to the conference championship game because of this play, it's just a gut shot. Of course, that should have been a catch at the time. I'm glad it is now.
I think everyone in that stadium and everyone watching that game knew that that was a catch.
Of course.
And yes, the formalities of how the structures of the rule in written, it's not a catch technically, but it was a catch. As a receiver,
that's gotta be.
He did everything in his power and in his will. He went up to go get the ball at the highest point. He comes down. He only loses the ball because he stretches towards the pylon.
And then he still gets it. Of course it's a catch. That's a catch, just like in 2001, that was a fumble by Brady against the Raiders. That's a fumble, and that's a catch.
All right, on to Saturday's Titans-Ravens matchup. So all eyes will be on Lamar Jackson as he looks to continue his MVP trek through the playoffs. But Titans running back Derrick Henry has a simple question. Why not us? Nick, should the Ravens be on upset alert in this one?
I think slightly. I think the concern for Baltimore is very simple. That they are a little rusty because they had the bye and they rested guys in Week 17, which I understand why you did it. What you didn't want to do is suffer a major injury in Week 17 when you have the 1 seed sewn up, and that Tennessee jumps out on them early. They have to play from behind. Keep in mind, the Titans under Vrabel in his 2 years there, they have only lost 1 game ever where they were leading at halftime. Home or road, if they've been ahead at halftime, they've salted the game away. That's the methodology for the Titans to execute what would be a major upset on the hottest team in football.
Yeah, this could be a potential upset alert if it weren't the Ravens. And the reason why I say that is because you're dealing with two teams, and I love Mike Vrabel, and I think his team is going to be ready to play, but so is John Harbaugh's Baltimore Ravens team. This is who they are. This is why they're in this position, because of guys like Lamar Jackson and Mark Ingram and Mark Andrews, Mark Andrews, and all these guys that understand why not us either.
Yeah.
Like, they have the same mentality, and they are the same tough, I can run the ball, I can stop the run team that they're going to be facing as an opponent.
And this is Harbaugh's best Ravens team. It's even better than the one that won the Super Bowl. It's his best Ravens team.
Andy Dalton in the news this morning. Oh, but
Andy
why,
Dalton.
Jenna? Why are we talking Andy Dalton? Well, the Bengals are probably locked in on drafting LSU quarterback Joe Burrow with the first pick in the draft, which makes 32-year-old Andy Dalton, who's never won a playoff game, odd man out. Well, Peter King has a solution, saying, quote, I think Bill Belichick would really like to work with Andy Dalton. Nick, do you think Belichick could sell the New England Patriots fans on a guy like Andy Dalton?
First of all, I want to say this. I like where Peter King's head's at.
Which is?
That he thinks Brady's leaving.
Right.
And talking about guys who could be potential replacements. Now, Dalton wouldn't be at the top of my list, but I understand it. Established pro, wouldn't be very expensive. You feel you could moderate his turnovers. And there's only one job left, which means Josh McDaniels might still be there next year. What would he look like in the Josh McDaniels offense? And a smart player who could ostensibly pick it up quickly. Now, to answer your question, could he sell the fans on Dalton? Don't matter, because he wouldn't try. Bill Belichick is the only coach in the league that could have an icon move on. And when he's asked about his replacement, he's like, well, we brought in a lot of players this offseason. Devin McCourty had to be replaced. He was a great player with this franchise. Whatever he would say.
That's a great...
Whatever it was you said to
whatever, he would not, he absolutely would not try to sell the fans on Dalton. And as much as Patriot fans adore Tom Brady, their second favorite person in their sports life is Bill Belichick. And he has earned every benefit of the doubt, every modicum of trust from fans. Now, maybe not from the NFL league office as far as following the rules, but as far as fans, he has earned the benefit of the doubt. Guys, I'm going to put us in a position to continue to contend, to win our division, and compete for championships. And so he will mute the noise immediately, and they won't have to deal with such noise. So whether it's Dalton, I think, and people would have a adverse reaction to this, I think Marcus Mariota is a very real possibility. Cheap, mobile, doesn't turn the ball over. We saw him have one really good year in year two, and then something happened to him over the last few years. He never got close back to it. Those are the... Teddy Bridgewater is a possibility. Those are the types of names the Patriots would be replacing Brady with, because I don't think they're going to just hand the car keys to Jared Stidham, but whomever it is, Belichick ain't going to do some big sales job, because that's not who he is.
Yeah, for me, when I look at Andy Dalton, I just don't think this is the... He has enough around him, even if this were the move they make. When you look at...
You do or don't think he has, enough around him? Doesn't have an...
Because when you look at his resume, his success solely depends on having a guy on the perimeter that can make plays for him. A.J. Green has been in and out of the lineup. And where has Andy Dalton been? Nowhere to be found.
Yep.
Nowhere to be found. If you go and insert him into this New England Patriots offense, who is he throwing the ball to? He doesn't have that guy that can really alleviate some of that pressure. And so I don't like that. And to your point, Belichick wouldn't have to sell anything. He can go in there with a no-name quarterback, and everyone will be sold on the fact that, okay, this is our guy, because it's Bill Belichick. Because his plug-and-play mentality, his culture that he's already established of, I will go and find the best player that fits, not so much the best player statistically in the pop and the wow factor, the best player that fits what it is I want to get done. And in my opinion, that is Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater, he can run, he's mobile, and he can throw the ball accurately, and he understands a grand scheme offense that you can throw at him. He's done it in Minnesota, when he was a rookie.
In New Orleans.
Now, filling in for Drew Brees with Sean Payton at the helm.
And what Bridgewater and Mariota have in common is they don't turn the ball over. They're not going to be wowed by their arms. They don't turn the ball over. Dalton turns it over a little bit more than them, but he's not a super heavy turnover guy. Any of these, well, maybe not Mariota, but Bridgewater or Dalton, I do think would be, even at the same price, a slight upgrade, Dalton a slight upgrade, and Bridgewater a significant upgrade over whatever Tom Brady's coming back as next season, especially when you incorporate the fact that Brady is reportedly going to want $25 to $30 million, which I understand why he would want it, but Belichick does not pay based on past performance. So I think that the issue for the Patriots fans, they need to understand is, with or without Brady, there is this narrative, oh, well, they're going to reload on the offensive side of the ball this offseason. My question to you would be how? They went over a decade without spending a first-round pick on a skill position offensive player. And then they did it in back-to-back drafts. Sony Michel, N'Keal Harry. They then spent a second-round pick on Mohamed Sanu. Do you really think the Patriots are going to go 3 drafts in a row, in addition to having just spent their second-round pick for this upcoming year on a wide receiver, on a skill position guy? Because I don't. You think they're going to be big spenders in the free agency in the offseason? They never have been. So I think they will tinker. I think they will address the tight end position. But the idea that the Patriots are going to come back next year with Amari Cooper in the fold, or one of those Alabama wide receivers who they draft in the early 20s, all of our history says they are not going to go that route. So whomever the quarterback is, they might have slightly improved weapons of this year, but not drastically so.
All right, let's talk back to the Cowboys again. The expectations, nothing short of Lombardi-esque for this team with that roster, a top 10 defense and an offense that led